If you want to get ahead of 99% of people, here's the advanced, scientific, highly complex formula. Stop doing what 99% of people are doing. Yes, revolutionary, incredible, call NASA, because at the moment, the world is drowning in videos telling people to drink lemon water, wake up at 5 a.m., meditate until they forget their own name, and read 47 self-help books a week. And for some reason, people think this is the secret to becoming extraordinary. Fun fact, if drinking warm lemon water created millionaires, every spa receptionist on the planet would be retired. Here's a truth that quietly haunts the world of self-improvement. If everyone is doing something, there is absolutely no universe in which that thing makes you exceptional. It's mathematically impossible. Like trying to become a billionaire by collecting recyclable cans. Admirable? Sure. Effective? Not unless you find a can the size of a small planet. Think about it. Everyone sets goals. Everyone writes to-do lists. Everyone has that moment at 2 a.m. where they stare at the ceiling and whisper, "Tomorrow, I will transform my entire life." Only to wake up and transform absolutely nothing. And everyone does that 3-day super productive lockdown challenge, where they suddenly become the CEO of their own kitchen table, then reward themselves with a pizza large enough to shade a medium-sized forest. Mainstream productivity advice is not harmful. It's not even wrong. It's just normal. And normal doesn't get you into the top 1%. Normal gets you exactly where everyone else is. Slightly overwhelmed, mildly motivated, and aggressively scrolling through videos of other people being productive. If you can learn a life-changing secret from a 15-second TikTok featuring inspirational piano music and a man jogging at sunrise in slow motion, I promise you, it is not a life-changing secret. It is cardio. The uncomfortable truth is that popular advice becomes popular because it's easy, accessible, and requires zero existential discomfort. But becoming elite, top 1%, ahead of 99%, requires decisions that feel weird, risky, and occasionally like you're doing life wrong on purpose. So no, the masses are not hiding the secret formula. The secret is that there isn't one where everyone else is looking. To get ahead of 99% of people, 3 ingredients matter more than all the planners, morning routines, and color-coded vision boards combined. 1. A contrarian perspective. A contrarian perspective isn't about disagreeing for sport or insisting that your houseplants communicate directly with you. It means noticing things others walk past, spotting patterns others ignore, and asking questions that make people blink twice. Most people are so busy trying to optimize their morning routine that they forget to optimize their life. They'll spend 3 hours researching the perfect journal layout while an opportunity quietly strolls past, whistling. Contrarian thinkers ask, why does everyone assume this is the best way? Why does no one question this system? What if the crowd is moving in the wrong direction entirely? The top 1% think for themselves, not loudly, not arrogantly, just accurately. 2. Being right when others doubt you. Anyone can be contrarian. That part's easy. You can say, I think everyone is wrong, and congratulations, you're now 15 years old again. Being a correct contrarian, that's where the magic is. It requires patience, calm, and a willingness to look slightly unhinged for an extended period of time. Every great thinker, creator, or entrepreneur spent a season looking like they didn't fully understand what they were doing. But they saw something others didn't, and more importantly, they were right. 3. Execution while others hesitate. Here's the difference between top 1% and everyone else. The top 1% execute ideas while the rest of the world is still Googling how to start. Most people spend the first half of their life preparing to start, and the second half regretting they never did. You don't need perfect planning, you need movement. Action beats analysis every time. By the time the majority finally feel ready, it's the year 2043, and humans are commuting to work on flying pastries. Meanwhile, the people who acted early have already built something significant. Execution turns insight into results. Hesitation turns insight into missed opportunities. Here's something wonderfully uncomfortable. Most of the results in your life will come from one or two major decisions, not from the small daily habits people obsess over, not from waking up at sunrise to greet the neighborhood birds, not from drinking a smoothie so green it looks like it crawled out of a swamp, not from buying a planner with inspirational quotes printed in gold foil. Those things might make you feel productive, but they won't vault you into the top 1%. Because routines are the furniture of your life, and rearranging the furniture doesn't magically double the size of your house. What does? Structural decisions, foundation-level choices, moves that feel too big, too risky, or too weird for most people to attempt. Here's the truth. You only need one. One great business idea, one unusual opportunity, one bold investment, one courageous leap, one relationship that elevates your thinking, one decision everyone else thought was strange. That's it. A single, high-leverage decision can change your trajectory more than 900 hours of perfect journaling. People chase routines because routines feel safe. You can control your bedtime. You can control your hydration level. You can control whether your desk looks like a productivity showroom. But high-leverage decisions? Those are terrifying. They're uncertain. They can't be perfectly planned. And that's why they separate the 1% from the 99%. Most people spend their entire lives doing the small things flawlessly while avoiding the big things entirely. And then they wonder why their life looks exactly the same year after year. The world rewards the bold, not the tidy. If you want to get ahead of 99% of people, stop rearranging the tiny details and start making the moves that actually matter. Before you sprint into the sunset, ready to become a visionary, there are 3 major side effects you should know about. A. People will not understand you. When you start doing things differently, people won't applaud. They'll stare at you like you've just announced your dream of becoming a competitive dolphin trainer. If everyone immediately understands your decisions, you're not doing anything extraordinary. You're just following instructions. Top 1% decisions often look incorrect until they suddenly look genius. B. You will be wrong. Often. Contrarian thinkers test ideas nobody else is testing, and sometimes those ideas flop harder than a swan dive onto concrete. Being wrong frequently is an unavoidable cost of eventually being right in a way that matters. The top 1% succeed because they treat mistakes like data, not like personal failure. Most people try something once, fail, and declare themselves unsuited for greatness. But those who rise simply try more times with more curiosity and less ego. C. Success doesn't guarantee happiness. This one shocks people more than any other. They assume success flips a switch and suddenly life is a perpetual highlight reel. But success amplifies who you already are. If you're confident, success boosts that confidence. If you're anxious, success gives you more things to be anxious about, now with bigger consequences and a larger audience. Happiness requires emotional stability, resilience, and internal clarity. Without those, success can feel less like a reward and more like a performance you're terrified of messing up. So yes, the top 1% lifestyle comes with benefits, but it also comes with pressure, confusion, and an occasional existential monologue. If you want the rewards, you must be willing to take on the cost. Before you decide you desperately want to be ahead of 99% of people, pause for one moment and ask yourself a much more important question. Why? Why do you want it? What is the emotional engine behind that desire? Is it freedom? The ability to wake up every day and decide exactly what your life looks like? Is it creativity? The joy of building something uniquely yours? Is it impact? Changing the world in a way that leaves a mark? Is it security? Knowing you can take care of yourself and the people you love? Or is it validation? The quiet hope that success will finally earn you approval? There's no wrong answer, but there is a dangerous answer. I don't know. People chase success like it's a universal prescription, but success without intention leads to confusion and burnout. If you don't define your own version of success, society will hand you a pre-made template. That template usually involves a job you don't love, a lifestyle you didn't choose, goals you don't care about, a house you can't relax in. The real competitive advantage is knowing yourself, knowing what actually brings you meaning, knowing which life feels like yours, not someone else's. When you have a powerful why, discipline becomes easier, setbacks feel lighter, and your path becomes clearer. Without a why, even success can feel empty. Define your vision before you chase the world's version. So if you want to get ahead of 99% of people, here's the truth. You don't need the perfect routine. You don't need the perfect plan. And you definitely don't need to copy what everyone else is doing, because what everyone else is doing isn't working. What you do need is clarity, a reason, a direction that aligns with who you are, not who you're pretending to be. Think differently, not to be rebellious or edgy, but because original thinking is the birthplace of progress. Act boldly, not recklessly, but courageously. Take the steps most people avoid. Try the ideas most people overlook. Be willing to look wrong before you look brilliant. Make the choices that actually matter, the big, high-leverage decisions that alter the entire trajectory of your life. The top 1% isn't a status, it's a mindset. A willingness to choose clarity over comfort, courage over conformity, and long-term vision over short-term approval. If you can commit to thinking deeper, acting faster, and choosing smarter, then yes, you can get ahead of 99% of people. And the best part? You'll do it while building a life that actually feels worth living.